Hi, and welcome back. This is a video to catch us up a little for what the expectations for this week are. For those of you who turned in your artifact worksheet, thank you for that. Way too many didn't even bother to turn it in or contact me to let me know they were having trouble with what to do. The whole point of that is not just busy work, but it's to help you organize your thoughts for your essay 1. Remember, 1101 on that worksheet, wherever it says fears, you're to change that to values. 1101, you guys are writing about values in the 50s. 1102, you're writing about fears, monsters as metaphor. So just keep that in mind. Some of you still, I take it, have not picked out a artifact from the 50s yet. Some of you have been very diligent in emailing me and letting me help you suggest some that is suitable to a subject that you want to write about and that I think would make a good match for your subject from the 50s, because I don't expect you guys to be familiar with artifacts from the 50s, but some of you are making some excellent choices, both short stories, TV shows, some films, some animations. So I'm very excited and look forward to reading your essays. Now, those essays are due March 12th, the Friday before you go to spring break. I will open the folder up before then, so if you finish early and you want to turn it in and be done before spring break, that's perfectly fine. If you submit it and you see something you need to change before the deadline, just resubmit it. You can submit as many times as you want. I only grade the very last submission. I will delete everything else. So just make sure that the very last submission is your best work. That's been proofread and peer edited and read to you out loud and all the things that we talked about. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about one other thing you need to proofread for. But this week, this Friday, you will find in Coursed In content a works cited exercise. So essentially, it's a whole bunch of entries that are all out of order and all check everything that previously we talked about, and you're just going to copy and paste that with your name, my name, the same MLA information, and then you're going to do a works cited page. Make those entries look like a typical works cited page. Now, I'm not going to tell you anymore because I want to see if you do well on this one or not, because it's very, very important. Also, there is a PowerPoint in content about using Galileo for your research. Please pay careful attention to the PowerPoint, because towards the end of the PowerPoint, it literally step by step shows you how much easier it is to use research articles from Galileo it will give you literally, your works cited page format. You just copy and paste. And then, of course, when you copy and paste it, you got to make sure it's the right size font. It's double spaced. If it goes more than 2 lines, there's that hanging indent, just like you would any entry, okay? So, but you'll see what I'm talking about when you watch the PowerPoint. That will hopefully help you in doing the works cited page exercise. It's not too long. The folder for every class is already open for the works cited page. Now, a quick note about people who are still missing turning things in. I told you before, we're at the point now where I need you to turn in work. Some of you have very, very valid excuses. One of my students, bless their hearts, were out in Houston during all that crazy weather they were having. And so, of course, they thought to ask ahead for extra time. And, of course, it was granted because they had enough on their plate to worry about it. As harsh as this may sound, having to work, having too much other classwork, those are excuses, but you have to remember, you submitted yourself to all of this. If you're taking 7, 8 classes, that's what you signed up for. So I'm trying my best to be as helpful as I can. I've had a few more people do phone calls and Google Meets that I think have been very, very productive. So, but you got to do it. I'm not going to be answering emails and phone calls the night before something is due from here on out. I literally got an email from someone 2 hours before something was due asking me, could I explain it to them? And I definitely got the impression they didn't even read the short story. They didn't watch the videos. They just were not prepared. And it is not my job to reteach all of this stuff. But I will try my best to help any student who asks for help. If you're struggling, you're lost, that's a phone call. That's a conversation. I want to help you do the best you can in this class. But deadlines are going to be deadlines. I'm not giving credit to people who turn things in late. I will still look at it, and if you want feedback, I will give you feedback. And here's the thing, not to stress you, but most of these assignments are 1 point. So if you don't get it in, it's not the end of your grade. But things like the rhetorical considerations, that was worth 10 points. So you need to look on that course map and in the new syllabus to see how much points everything is worth. The next thing that's worth 30 points is your Essay 1. So please make sure you put all your effort into meeting the requirements of the prompt for Essay 1. And I'm going to do a little bit of discussion about Essay 1 in the next video. Okay, so I want to talk about literary present tense. That's what this video is about. You've probably never concerned yourself with this or been taught this, but when you write an academic essay and you're analyzing a text, whenever you talk about something that happened in history, you use past tense. Like, for example, this book was, past tense, was published in 1954. That's something that happened in history, so you put it in past tense. The minute you start talking about events in the story, things that the characters are doing, things that the director is doing in the text, you have to switch to literary present tense, as if it's happening right now. So you don't say, for example, Dorothy walked, ED, down the yellow brick road when she met the scarecrow. You have to change those verbs to present tense. Dorothy walks down the yellow brick road where she meets the scarecrow. Some of us do it naturally, but it's something that, when you're getting to your third draft, you need to read for. It's called literary present tense, LPT. So when you go to the Writing Center or have someone else look at it, they can't look for everything. So one of the things they'll ask you is, what am I reading for? Am I reading for grammar, content, organization, and you tell them one of the things, please check, is my literary present tense. Okay? And they may scratch their head and go, he's making you write literary present tense? But yeah, the answer is yes, I am, because it's the academic correct way to write. Okay? So, that I think is, we talked about the works cited exercise, which is due this Friday. The essay is due next Friday. And then over spring break, there's a link that I provided you to a PDF of the play Doubt, a Parable. You can just Google on your search Doubt, a Parable PDF, and the same website will come up. It's very easy to find. That you need to have read by the end of spring break. Sorry to give you homework over spring break, but that's why I let you turn in your essay before, so you wouldn't have to worry about it. Okay? And that is pretty much all for now. I will see you in the next video.